I'm always delighted to be with Saul News. This has been such a leader in the conservative movement and the Republican Party.
Welcome to the Saul's Newsstand News Rewind for June 10th, 2022. Town Hall reports Dana Perino excoriates Democrats for inaction following plot against Kavanaugh. Perino's analysis, which came hours after a man from California was arrested with a gun, knife, zip ties, and tape near Kavanaugh's residence, centered on the lack of response or condemnation from Democrats of the attempted murder of a Supreme Court justice.
There's no question, Dana, that the rhetoric is basically a call to arms to unstable people, and it always will be.
Well, I think you can draw a pretty direct line, and it's not hard from the things that they've been saying about Kavanaugh for several years to today.
Yeah.
And there's a couple things that should happen. First of all, this group Ruth sent us, it's like the Westboro Baptist Church, right?
Right.
Except for one thing, and Judge, you correct me if I'm wrong, it's illegal to protest at the home of a justice.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so Ruth sent us is going to go to the house. They were at his house today. They plan to be there tonight. If I was the Attorney General of the United States, I would say arrest them all. And Biden should say they absolutely should be prosecuted. You cannot do this. They have to take a stand tonight. And if they don't take a stand tonight, they are complicit.
Perino also noted that the Supreme Court Police Parity Act, a bipartisan effort guided to unanimous passage in the Senate by John Cornyn, a Republican from Texas, and Chris Coons, a Democrat from Delaware, has yet to be taken up by House Democrats. At the close of the segment, Perino again reiterated to Democrats that, quote, "If you don't do something about it tonight, you're complicit." An article from The Hill states, House passes sweeping gun package in largely party line vote. The House passed a sweeping gun package on Wednesday in response to last month's mass shootings in Buffalo, New York, and Uvalde, Texas, that killed more than 30 people and reignited the push for firearm legislation on Capitol Hill. The package, dubbed the Protecting Our Kids Act, passed in a 223 to 204 vote. One Republican did not vote. 2 Democrats bucked the party in opposing the measure, and 5 Republicans supported it. The House package would raise the minimum age for buying a semi-automatic weapon from 18 to 21, prohibit civilian use of ammunition magazines with more than 15 rounds, and enact new federal criminal offenses for gun trafficking and straw purchases of firearms. It also seeks to require that firearms that do not have serial numbers receive serial numbers, impose a ban on bump stocks for civilians, and bolster storage of guns in homes where minors may have access to the firearm. And finally, the Daily Wire reports, Biden's RCP average drops under 40% as more polls show him hitting record lows. President Joe Biden's poll numbers continue to sink further into the doldrums as the Real Clear Politics average of polls shows his approval rating under 40%. The RCP average of polls has Biden's approval rating at 39.7%, a record low mark, with an average of 55% disapproval. Individual issues, such as the economy, including jobs, inflation, and taxes, were overwhelmingly the most important issues in the minds of voters. In one poll, a near majority of respondents, 48.7%, said that the economy was the most important issue facing the country. In another poll, when asked which issue was most important to the country, a plurality of Americans, 34%, said inflation was most important in every single demographic group. This week, we'll let Michigan Senator Debbie Stabenow have the last word on high gas prices.
I do have to say, just on the issue of gas prices, after waiting for a long time to have enough chips in this country to finally get my electric vehicle, I got it and drove it from Michigan to here this last weekend and went by every single gas station, and didn't matter how high it was.
And that concludes your Saul's Newsstand News Rewind for June the 10th, 2022. For more political news faster, visit saulsnews.com.